Right then, an update on the Black Panther custom arcade cabinet. This is the LED blinky setup. I've had to change to my GoPro because my other camera just wouldn't pick up the colours of the LEDs. They were just really bright white on the camera. So this is a 32-inch stand-up unit, the widest stand-up I've done yet. So it's really cool looking machine. I've had some issues with getting LED blinky to load correctly within Hyperspin. So on startup, what you need to do is, if you want the transition I've created an 800 plus transition. I mean, it's took us hours going through different settings and different transitions and making sure the transition that I created is going to look okay on there. So I'll just quickly load again, because for some reason the transitions don't kick in until after rocket launch has loaded MAME or another system. I've tried all different settings. I can't get it to load prior without having issues. So the standard transition will start, but once you go into a game, say,
loading,
then it should load up my transition, which is this one here. So we'll just exit the game there, and it'll restart the transition. And then what I'll do is I'll play the video right the way through, so that's nice blue fade in, fade out, a different tone of blue, fade in, fade out. This may be quite a long video because I sat there quite a while. So we've got the nice purple that matches the cabinet there. Nice hot pink. Nice blood red. So this is just a simple transition to start with, and then it will start going into more complex transitions that are sat and designed. I don't know if you can see it on there, but this should cycle through a good 10 times. It has a chasing light, blue light, that goes through all the LEDs. There, you just can catch it on the camera there. And then on the sides it'll fade in and fade out, and then the light will go back round the front, and then the sides will light up again. Once that fades out, it'll come up to the top here, then down and around, and then to the front of the machine. Really cool. I've set that to do 10 times, and then it'll go on to the next transition. It just makes it look really cool for when the system's idle. Like I say, you can't really see it very well on the camera, but looking at it, you'll see a little blue dot go across, down, come along, there you go, down and along the front. If the customer wishes to create his own transitions, I've got mine backed up on the memory stick. I've also got them backed up on the hard drive on the system, so they can go in, start sitting there hours like I've done, creating some cool transitions. It is easily to mess up a frame on the transitions. It does take a little while to get into doing them and sitting there and doing each frame, but once you've done it a couple of times, it gets quite simple, especially for like flickering of lights, like red, blue, green, blue, stuff like that, orange, purples. Like this, yeah, we'll have like the police lights, look. Then I have on the side green and yellow light flashing on the pinball buttons. and I believe this one it'll transition 200 times. All the other transitions from now, I believe, do like a 200 times cycle. But what I'll do is I'll disable that for in-game. I'll have a quick look at some other settings, but I'm not going to take too much time on it because this unit's got to be finished and sent off to the customer. But this unit's all configured, all the controls and everything else is configured on the system. Now we've transitioned over to a nice green and yellow flash with, I believe, the red and blue on the side, which looks really cool. But yeah, this unit only needs a back attached, which is over there. So we'll just need to get the back onto this unit and then get it all bolted in place. And there's another police effect, the red and blue. This time it's going up and down, and then the add coin and player 2 are flashing also. So it's probably already played a few thousand frames there. On the transitions on the frames, you can loop the frames as well. So if you do say red at the top, blue at the bottom, and add a second frame and do red at the bottom, blue on the top, then you can send that loop back to that previous frame and then loop it for 200 frames or so. I've also set this one up so it's a purple that matches the cabinet. Like I say, you can't really see it amazingly well on the camera, but that's a nice purple that matches the unit. So I've got that as a stable LED. That'll last for 200, I believe, and then that will then transition also into another transition for the purple, then it'll change colour again. And like the police lights one I done, that's just up and down. I've left all the LEDs on the front static and then had the machine lighting up and down. But all these transitions can be easily done. If the customer just wished to have purple LEDs and wanted to go in and create a transition, and then they could create that. I think that there looks pretty cool, just as the machine is now. That's something I would prefer to just have on its own. The lights flickering up and down with just the purple LEDs, but these are RGB LEDs, so it's worth getting the full extent of the LEDs out of this machine. So let that cycle through. Then we're on to a nice bright orange LED, and that'll last another 200 frames, and I believe it'll do the same as it did with the purple LEDs, flash up and down. Like I say, there's a few settings to go through just for the LED blinky. Everything else is configured. There is a big collection of MAME. I used to have the all the MAME games, and it would light up the buttons and everything. But because I've had to start from scratch again, because this is a new different drive, I'm just haven't got the time to sit there and set it all up. You can build your own over time, and if I get an update, I'll send it. This is to the customer. I'll send it here once I get an update on the LED blinky. But like I say, I mean, I could be sat here weeks and weeks configuring and adding the transitions and stuff like that to it. But this is just a nice cool transition that'll last quite a lot of frames, and it'll cycle in and cycle out. And like I say, you can always go in and edit the transition if there's something that you just prefer to stay on there all the time. So then we'll have the green, that'll last another 200 frames. While that's going through them 200 frames, we've got the Terminator 2 machine here. This is up for sale. I've just got to change the amp on it. I've got a spare amp lying around, so I'm going to change it with that one. And then this unit's going to be up for sale around 2100. This is a 11 terabyte setup, and it has all the new AAA games added onto the 3 terabyte plus drive. Another cycle through the green, up and down. We also have a Batman unit that's up for sale. That's at home at the moment. I'm using it to do a few things on and configure some stuff. But we'll have a Batman unit, 24 inch, 8 terabyte I believe, for 1685. Really love this Terminator unit. It looks outstanding. But anyways, back to the LEDs. We also have the Street Fighter as well. That's ready for the customer to be shipped off, and that's all configured. That's just ready to wrap. I'll try and get that wrapped over the weekend, and as well as this unit, I'll contact the customers for the shipping and that for them. Another one, all different multicolours. So I've got red, green and blue flashing all the way through the whole machine. I've got orange and pink on the front, and I think I've got pink, green, blue on the sides, blue and pink on the sides. Like I say, this took us hours to do all the different transitions. The longer ones is the one with the chasing lights, the light chasing it. That takes quite a while because you've got to do that frame by frame by frame. Turn one LED off, turn the other one on. It's also got a trail behind it, so it's got a lighter colour blue just behind the button as it trails along, so it gives it a nice trail. I could have used a darker blue on it, but by the time I've decided to maybe change it, I didn't bother in the end. So this one's cycling through red, green, yellow, blue all the way through, like it's chasing all the way through. And each colour on the front is a primary colour on the left side here. So that's a really cool transition. I quite like that one as well. That's one of my favourite ones. So what I've done is I've set it red, green, yellow, blue. Then I've went blue, red, yellow, green, then so on and so on, so the lights chase each other. But even that just on its own, I would quite like that also, just on its own on the cabinet. As it turns on, just all the LEDs chasing. But yeah, I think this is the final transition, so just wait for it. It should go back to the white LEDs and fade in, fade out.